Hey everybody, welcome back to Living Traditions Homestead. We are in the house today because we have something very exciting to talk to you guys about and some very exciting things to do ourselves here inside the house.
You all know how much we have come to love our Harvest Right freeze dryer, and we've had it for several years now.
Right.
We use it quite often, but there are some really exciting changes that have just recently happened that we want to talk with you guys about, and we have something even more exciting. We're giving away a freeze dryer.
Right. Last summer we gave away a Harvest Right freeze dryer and it went over so well we decided that this summer we're going to do the same thing so that one of you can also be preserving your food with a Harvest Right freeze dryer.
Now, if that's not exciting enough, the freeze dryer that we'll be giving away is the brand new model.
Right.
A freeze dryer that just came out on the market, which has some really awesome upgrades in comparison to like the original ones.
Right. So let's go over those real quick. So the freeze dryer that we're going to be giving away is the new Harvest Right Pro model freeze dryer. All of their freeze dryers now have kind of gotten a bump up, an upgrade. So every unit now comes with an additional tray, which means like the one we have, which is the medium freeze dryer, has 4 trays that you can freeze dry at a time. The new medium freeze dryer now has 5 trays. The small freeze dryer now has 4 trays, and the large freeze dryer now has 6 trays.
Well, they have an extra large freeze dryer now.
Right, and they now have an extra large freeze dryer that I think has something crazy.
I don't know, it has tons of trays.
Right. So you guys, that's awesome because during a time of year like this where we're just packing that thing full all the time, it means we can pack it full even that much more.
Something else that's new about the Pro series of freeze dryers is that they're even more energy efficient.
Right.
Now, we have calculated our expenses based on the cost of our electricity, and generally to run a batch through our freeze dryer, it takes about $2 worth of energy. Now, that will differ depending on the part of the country you're in, but about $2 each for us.
Right, and that's to run it for about 24 to 36 hours, somewhere in that range. We did a whole video about that. You can go back and check that out. It's in our freeze drying playlist.
But the new Pro series is even more energy efficient.
So watch until the end of the video and we'll talk about how you can enter the giveaway so that hopefully you can win one of the new Pro model Harvest Right freeze dryers. So another exciting thing about Harvest Right is that they now have a team of over 6,000 technicians, field technicians in every single state that can come to your house if you're having a problem with your freeze dryer. So I think they told us 1,600 different locations with over 6,000 technicians around the country that can help you if you have a problem right on site. So that's pretty awesome.
They've always had really great phone support, but now if you have a problem, there's actually somebody who can come to your home and help with your freeze dryer. That's an awesome service that they're providing now. Now, this new Pro series is going to be replacing the original, or like what we would say the current models.
Right.
The nice thing about this is that the Pro series is now going to be the same price as the original series. So even though there are a lot of upgrades, there's a lot of new technology, more energy efficient, and more capacity basically, they're really the same price as the original models.
Right. So that's pretty awesome. Now, if you have the original model like we do, there are some upgrades that you can do to it, not to turn it into the Pro model, but to at least turn the capacity into the Pro model.
Right.
You guys, so today, that's what we're going to be doing to our freeze dryer is we are going to be doing an upgrade on ours to turn it from a 4-tray model into a 5-tray model, and that is something that is available to any of you who own the current model. And it's a lot cheaper than buying a whole new freeze dryer.
And if that's something that you're interested in, especially after you see us basically upgrade ours, all you need to do if you already have a freeze dryer is call Harvest Right and let them know, and that you want to upgrade that interior rack.
Right. Now, we talked to them about that because that's not available on their website. And they said the reason that it's not is because there's several different types of plugs on that. And when you call in, they need to verify which one you have, so they make sure they send you the best replacement for that. So that's why it's not on the website. You need to call them to actually get that upgrade. All right, let's head into our mudroom. That's where we keep our freeze dryer. We're going to do a software update on it, and then we're going to replace that rack inside so that our freeze dryer will now go from 4 trays to 5 trays. All right, we're in by our freeze dryer, and you can see that we have the medium-sized freeze dryer with a measly 4 trays inside. That's why we're upgrading it to the 5 tray today. So I'm excited about doing that. But before we upgrade the inside, we want to upgrade the software so that we make sure we're on the most current version. So, upgrading these is really easy. You just go to the Harvest Right website and you can download any update that's available to a USB drive like this, and then you can just plug that in the side. I'll walk you through that in just a second. The one thing that I just recently learned though is that when you go to the Harvest Right website and look at the updates, there will be several updates available, but only one for your particular unit. When you look at the current version of your software, you'll notice that there are 3 numbers. So ours is 5.0.23 right now. What you need to do is you need to always keep that center number the same. So I think the new version is 5.0.25. So we're actually going from 23 to 25. But there's also a 5.1.25, 5.2.25, but because we have a 0 on our current one, we need to have 0 on the new one as well. It has something to do with the circuitry inside and the motherboard that's in there, and you have to have the appropriate update for your particular unit. So that's all beyond what I know, but I know that that's what you need to do. So doing the update is very, very easy. Again, you download it to a thumb drive. And then all you need to do is turn your unit off. And then once it's completely shut down, you just take the thumb drive and you'll put it in the side like this. There's a little USB port right here on the side of the freeze dryer. And you'll just put the thumb drive in there and then turn it back on. And it will take care of everything else all on its own. So after it kind of starts to start back up, your display will kind of come back on to the normal startup screen, and that's where we're at now, and that means that the software update is done. So we are now updated as far as software goes. It's time to get busy doing the upgrade as far as the tray rack goes. We're going to turn the unit back off. And taking this tray rack out is actually a really simple process that you probably, if you own a freeze dryer, you've probably already done this, because sometimes you have to do it just to clean if it gets stuff inside of there. So you basically open the door, you take this big rubber seal off of here, it just sticks on. So it's really easy to get this rack out. I'm going to have Sarah pull that out, and then there's just a little plug on the back that will unplug so we can replace this with the new rack. You can see just a little plug here that just unplugs, and then we can set that one aside. Alright, so I've got the new rack right here. Harvest Right just shipped it to us in the mail, and you can see it now has 5 slots for trays. Now I did measure these because I wanted to figure out how they were able to do that in the same amount of space, and it looks like basically you lose a 1/2 inch of height per rack, and that's how they can get the additional rack in there. But to be honest, I don't think that's a big deal at all. No. At a 1/2 inch, you really shouldn't be piling things up super high anyway. So it looks like this will just plug into exactly where the other one was, and we'll just be able to slide that in. That's pretty awesome. Just like that, we went from 4 trays to 5 trays. Alright, let's close that up. Let's turn it back on. I don't think that's going to change anything on the display or anything, but let's just see what it does. Nope, looks exactly the same. All right, but now we have 5 trays. You know, that's a big deal when you're doing a lot of harvesting. To go from 4 to 5, that's a big deal. All right, so I guess we need to try it out.
We definitely need to try it out.
So we've got some things that we picked out of the garden we're going to put in here, and we're going to actually run a cycle through this and show you guys what everything looks like when it's done. Let's head back to the kitchen.
All right, we're going to start off filling our freeze dryer with some beans from the garden, some purple potted pole beans.
You know, it's really hard. We're having to train ourselves to stop calling them green beans when they're not green, they're purple. But they do turn green when you blanch them or cook them. I don't know. I wonder if we put them in the freeze dryer. We're going to blanch them because that's the best way to do it for freeze drying them. But I wonder if you put them in without blanching them, if they'd stay purple.
I bet they would.
Probably. So we do need to kind of take that vein out of the back of them and snap the end off.
Yeah, the end is the stem, the little stem. We're going to take that off, and then we're going to steam blanch these for about 3 minutes, and then they'll be ready to go onto the freeze dryer tray, and then we'll move on to the next product that we'll be putting in the freeze dryer. The beans are in this steamer pot. We're just going to set it down in there and cover it. And these need to blanch for about 3 minutes, but halfway through we'll open it up and kind of toss them around so that they're heated equally. And then we will put them in a water bath full of cool or cold water. You can use ice, but I don't use ice. Leave them in there for 3 minutes, and then they'll be ready to dry off and put on our freeze dryer tray. The beans are now cooling in the cold water. It is amazing that these beans go from purple to green. I know we already talked about it, but it's like a little magic trick right there. So they're gonna stay in here for about 3 minutes, and then we're gonna drain the water and have them drain on a towel on the counter just so they can dry off a little bit before we put them on the tray. These are the last 2 zucchini from the greenhouse. We've pulled the plants out. We've replanted seeds actually because we have enough time to do another round, and hopefully this round will have less squash bugs. So I'm gonna shred these up and put the shreds through the freeze dryer. They freeze dry so well and so easily. If you generally like to freeze the shredded zucchini for, you know, baked goods or whatever the case is, I highly recommend you try freeze drying them because they're so quick and easy to work with when you're making like zucchini bread and stuff. As you know, we are on keto, so we don't eat breads and things like that, but I use them mostly instead of breadcrumbs when I'm making things like meatballs and meatloaf, things like that. And they are really, really slick and really easy to work with. After I've gotten the center out, I just cut these into quarters, basically into long strips that will be easy for me to put down into the food processor and just turn it on and press down in the plunger and it'll shred up really easily. For me, I find that this is the fastest way to preserve zucchini, and really for me, the most usable way to preserve zucchini. I also like to dice zucchini and freeze dry it so that I can add it into soups and stews and stuff over the winter. I just really like the texture of it more than just putting them in the freezer and pulling them out. So there's plenty of these shreds here. I'm just gonna spread some of these on here. Probably the whole thing will fit, honestly.
All right, we've got 3 trays left, 3 more vegetables that we're going to freeze dry today. Earlier today, we ran out to the greenhouse and we picked 3 different things. We're going to be doing okra, the dwarf long pod okra that I'm trying this year in the greenhouse. So I'm excited to try those. We've done okra in the past, but never whole, so that's the way I'm going to try it today. I'm going to just cut the stem end off, and then we're going to do these whole. So we're doing okra. We're also going to be doing jalapeno rings. We're going to just slice these into rings and fill a tray up with those. And then the last thing are these spicy ají peppers. These are the Peruvian peppers that we're doing in the greenhouse this year. Man, are they prolific. These are about 10 times hotter than a jalapeno, so I'm excited to try those as well. I know Sarah's already done some and turned them into a powder. I'm not sure what her plans are for these when they're done.
We'll see.
All right, so we're going to get busy. I'm going to start with the okra. Sarah's going to start with the jalapenos, and then we're just going to work together to get these trays filled up. All right, we've got all of our vegetables prepped. We've got our jalapeno rings, our Peruvian peppers, our okra, zucchini, and our what used to be purple beans. Now we can call them green beans. So we're going to take all of this stuff over to the freeze dryer. We've already had the freeze dryer on. One thing that happened recently with the freeze dryers in one of the updates is you used to have to say ahead of time, are you putting in fresh food or frozen food? You no longer have to do that. You just turn the unit on, wait 15 minutes, and then just load your trays. So we've already had it on for 15 minutes. We can go put these right in. All right, we're gonna load all 5 trays. This is exciting.
It is exciting. Now there is a little less room in here, so we need to be mindful about how tall everything is. It's a little bit different.
Still, I think it's worth it. I think it's worth losing a tiny bit of space to get the whole extra tray.
Absolutely. Okay, I already closed the drain valve over there. We're going to press continue. And it is freezing. It's going to take care of all of that. I'm not sure how long it's going to take. It normally takes about 24 hours to be completely done. So when it's done, we'll bring everything out. We'll show you. We'll package it up really quickly. And then we will talk with you about the most exciting part of the video, which is a freeze dryer giveaway.
Right. How to enter and all of that. As soon as these are done, we'll be back with you again in just a minute.
Well, the freeze dryer is done, and about 10 minutes ago I pressed the warm trays button, so that warmed everything up. So it's not like negative 32 degrees when you pick out those metal trays.
Now this batch took 21 hours to complete, just to give you some reference as to how long all of this took.
So we're going to take everything out of here, all these trays, into the kitchen, show them to you, and then package them up. So I'm actually just going to tell it that we're done.
Now that noise is the pressure coming out of the system. That's a drain valve on the side, and that way we can open the door.
Let's open this, and we will take all these trays out to the kitchen. They look fantastic. We can show you everything when we get in there.
Well, here are all of the trays. Honestly, everything looks pretty much the way it did before we put it in. If you could feel it, you could really feel the difference. And boy, these spicy peppers, I can really smell these spicy peppers. So we're going to give a couple things a try. I'm not going to try these because I know those are way too hot. I might try at least a little piece of a jalapeno just to see. Now these are like super light. They're crunchy. And I don't know what to expect. They kind of melt in your mouth. They are spicy though.
Are they?
Yeah.
I'll take your word for it.
Yeah, they're good though. Really good flavor.
Now I have done the shredded zucchini a lot already, so I kind of know how it is. But it's really nice and fluffy. I know it will rehydrate really well and actually quickly because of how thin it is. Now we have never done blanched green beans before in the freeze dryer. We did not blanched, you know, just raw, and we didn't like them at all. I don't know, they rehydrated gummy, and we didn't really like them. So that's why we blanched them this time. We'd heard that that's the best thing to do. These are nice and crispy.
Yeah, they're super crispy. They're kind of
crunchy.
I mean, they'd make a good chip type thing. At some point, we will have to try rehydrating them and see if they turned out better this way, but I don't think we're going to do that today.
And are you going to try the okra? Because that's not my favorite thing.
Yeah. I mean, they're a lot like everything else. Super light, crispy.
Crunchy.
Tastes like okra.
Well, that's good.
All right, we're going to go and get everything packaged up. I think we're going to do some of these things in mason jars and some in Mylar bags. We'll show you guys just the basics of that, but we're not going to do a real in-depth how-to. We've done that before.
So I'm going to start with these jalapenos, which I am going to put in a jar. And I have found that using a funnel helps to get the product into the jars. But the large funnel that I use doesn't fit into my regular mouth jars. So I do kind of like a double funnel kind of system. I know it kind of looks crazy, but it works really well. And I'm just going to dump these into this large funnel, into the jar. I'm going to shake them around a little bit and see if I can get the rest of these in here. Now, there are lots of loose seeds in the bottom of the tray. I'm not going to just put all of those into the jar. You know, we have not tried to see if freeze-dried seeds would germinate. That's probably something we could try as an experiment one day.
Yeah. My gut tells me they won't.
No?
But you never know.
Right.
Maybe if we soaked them first to rehydrate them, I don't know.
So these seeds I'm just going to leave on the tray.
Yeah, maybe we'll try an experiment with those.
Yeah. I did overfill this a little bit. I'm just going to crunch them in there. Okay, then we're going to use a really cool handheld rechargeable vacuum sealer that we found on Amazon. This is a vacuum sealer device, and it comes with a regular mouth canning jar attachment as well as a wide mouth canning jar attachment. You just press it down over your used canning lid that you put on top of there. Hold this on top, hold it down, pressure, turn it on, and then after about 10 or 12 seconds you can turn it off, and the canning lid will be sealed on top of the jar.
And it's going to suck all of the air out so that it makes a vacuum inside of the jar.
Yes. Just like that. You can see it's sealed on there nicely. Now for storage, I will put a canning ring on there. We're going to do the same thing for the okra. Harvest Right offers two different sizes of Mylar bags. This is like the smaller size, and I tend to use this size more often than the larger size. It also pops open on the bottom, which is handy because it helps it stand up like that. Now here go the shredded zucchini. You can see how nice this big funnel works for this. With the zucchini, I'm just going to kind of shove it down in the bag, crunching it a little bit, you know. We use it crunched up in recipes anyway, so it's not going to matter. You can see how far down that is. It's about up to here. We'll put it in an oxygen absorber, and then we will seal this with the sealer that you get with your freeze dryer. It's a heat sealer. And it's all sealed up really nicely. Just need to label it, and then we can move on.
All right, you guys, now that that stuff is all done, it is time to get on to the part that I know all of you are looking forward to, and that is how to get in the contest for the free freeze dryer.
Now, the freeze dryer, again, that we're giving away is a medium freeze dryer, the new Pro, with the upgraded insert with 5 trays.
Right.
With a really nice pump. It comes included, and the shipping is free. You won't be asked to pay for anything in this giveaway.
Now, there are a few things that YouTube has changed recently as far as giveaways, so we do have to go over kind of the official rules of the giveaway, so bear with us while we do that.
So you'll enter this giveaway by commenting in the comment section of this video. That's the only way to enter this giveaway.
Right. In the past, when we've done giveaways, there have been people who haven't been able to figure out how to comment on a video, so they've emailed us instead. Unfortunately, there's no way for us to count emails in the giveaway, so you have to figure out how to comment on the video, because the way that we will pick the winner is by using a program that will randomly pick one of the comments on this video.
Now, this giveaway is free to enter. We are not asking you to do anything except comment. You will not be asked for any money. You will not be paying anything. It's just free to enter.
Right. Now, again, when we've done giveaways in the past, there are scammers who try to take advantage of people who are commenting on the videos. If there is a reply to your comment on this video asking you for anything at all, you will know that it's a scam. We are not going to reply to any comments on this video. We certainly would never ask you to pay shipping or ask for any personal information in the comment section of this video. So if that starts to happen, please know that that is a scam, and you absolutely should not comment back or give out any personal information.
Now, we will only be using one comment, one entry per account. So
Right.
if you comment 100 times, only one of your comments is going to be used to pick the winner.
Right. This giveaway is not at all sponsored by YouTube. This is a giveaway with us, but YouTube is in no way affiliated with this giveaway, just so you're aware of that.
These freeze dryers can only be shipped for this contest, can only be shipped within the lower 48 states. And that is so that the shipping can be free. So if you're not within the lower 48, it can only be shipped within the lower 48 United States.
Now, this contest is going to run from the day that this video comes out, which is August 16th, 2023, through August 31st, 2023, and we will be announcing the winner in a video on September 1st, 2023.
The winner must email us within 7 days of us announcing the winner on September 1st, and they must contact us by emailing us at info@livingtraditionsHomestead.com.
Once you email us, we will ask for some personal information then. We'll be asking for your name and mailing address, because we'll need to supply that to Harvest Right so that they can ship out your free freeze dryer.
Other than that, we will not be asking anybody for any personal
Right.
information. We don't do that.
Right.
We also won't be asking anybody for payment information or anything like that. If you get contacted asking for payment information, it is a scam.
Right. Now, one other thing I did want to mention is we have talked to Harvest Right about what would happen if someone were to buy a freeze dryer during the contest period and then they end up winning. So if you are impatient like I am and don't want to wait around for 2 weeks to see if you won, and you are just ready to pull the trigger on a freeze dryer anyway, go ahead and place your order. There is a link in the description of this video so you can get the new Pro model. And then if you end up being the winner of this contest, Harvest Right said they will just refund your money for the freeze dryer that you purchased. So you'll get it free anyway, or I guess you could just get a second one if you wanted to.
Yeah. Now, any entries that don't comply with YouTube's community guidelines will be disqualified from entering, and the link to their community guidelines is in the description of this video, along with all of these contest official rules.
Right. So there you go, you guys. That is how you get in the contest. Again, it's going to run through the end of August 2023, and we'll be announcing the winner on September 1st. This is so exciting. We're so happy to be able to give away another freeze dryer this summer. It really has been an awesome thing for us to have on our homestead, and we really hope that it's going to be a blessing for someone else as well.
So you guys, good luck. Happy entering. We hope that you share this information so that maybe your friends and family have an opportunity also to win a Harvest Right freeze dryer. If you're enjoying videos like this, make sure that you hit the subscribe button below. And remember, as always, the best way you can help us here on the Homestead is just to share our videos on your social media. Until next time, thank you so much for stopping by our homestead. Take care and God bless.
God bless.